Hot to Trot, back for another week. Fitzy, Andrew Fitzgerald joins me over in the phone booth, if you like, in New Zealand. Hello, mate.
Yeah, I'm on the telephone box at work here, so nice and quiet, but good to be back on after the big boss stepped in last week and provided some good insight onto all the boys.
Yep, and exciting stuff happening, and I'll give a little teaser. We could be doing a little bit on-farm stuff later this week for next week's show. Some pretty exciting things happening behind the scenes with the farm going forward. We spoke about Gatesy's girl going around in the redwood. Unfortunately, she threw a shoe beforehand, and again, just seems to throw her off her game. But she's a beautiful trotter with a big future. She's a horse to follow, isn't she?
Yeah, she's going to win plenty of races, as we've seen the ability, and probably the only 2 times beaten. Little issues have come up, so realistically, still in my eyes, unbeaten. But yeah, she's a lovely horse, and just a prime example of how good that breed is.
We're another one of the Aldebaran Eagles here to highlight, Fitzy. This was unbelievable. Reoffender, this is a 2-year-old gelding by Aldebaran Eagle, has been beaten once. When you watch this run, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how far off them he was, but
the caller calls him 70 metres at one stage.
Yeah, because it was a long, like when he gallops right now, as you can see him galloping, doesn't get down until he's well out of sight. Like he's still galloped for 4 or 5 strides, if not longer after that. So he's a long way off them, and to win. I think I've seen some people comment on Facebook, it might be the best 2-year-old they've seen down that way anyway. So hopefully he can continue on, and just another one to highlight Aldebaran Eagle, really, like another 2-year-old. Add them in with the 3s and 4-year-olds, and he's proven he's doing the job. Here he is catching up. And
I'll go back to about 600.
Great drive, obviously, to sneak the rail, and lucky the gap opened up, but did it quite nice in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, watch to the end of this video. Anyone wants to watch a whole race, I'll put that up at the end. But it's just it is a phenomenal win, and as you said, smart drive. I don't think if he had gone around them, he beats them. But he's only had his colours lowered once, and that was by the horse in front of him. So the horse in front's no duffer. Even the sectionals, people could say, it was a 2-year-old race at Globe Derby. He's trotted 2.5 from the stand. People have got to be aware of that's his mile rate from the stand. They didn't run a quarter outside of 32, outside of 32, 31.4, 31.2, 30, and then 31 home. Like it's not a flash in the pan sort of run, is it?
Well, and add in how much he's given the leader. What's the leader gone in say the 70 or 80 meters? Like it's a sensational run. So look, hopefully he keeps on going on with it, and we see his name in lights and bigger races. Obviously that was a decent race, but even in bigger races to come for connections. Great to be seeing them get a good horse and paying back, obviously, the confidence to breed the Aldebaran Eagle, and hopefully that, along with Gatesy's Gem and Rockin' With Attitude, etc., like give more people over here in New Zealand an understanding of the talent that Aldebaran Eagle was. Obviously a son of Muscle Hill, and we know we can stand on the rooftop and shout it for as long as we know how good Muscle Hill was. So to get some of his blood for 3,000, pay on live foal, you don't have to put that money up straight away, like the 42 days, So if anything happens, you're not out of pocket. Like that's, I think, is the big thing for him, for New Zealand breeders. Like you don't have to pay until that is a live foal.
Yep.
So I think that's huge for our guys here. And then obviously Dancing in the Dark, as you've got up here, 4,000 plus GST in New Zealand. It's getting more and more every day. We just had 3 last week from John Purvis, which is the breed of Oscar. He bred Oscar Bonavina. So there's a couple of sisters and to Oscar Bonavina, and some very well bred broodmares going to him from John. And he's probably got a couple more there that might be able to go to either Dancing in the Dark or Aldebaran Eagle, but exciting to get quality broodmares like that, plus the other ones that we're seeing come through every week to both of those boys.
Yep, and for the New Zealand people that can't get to Sky Valley, he's only available in Australia as chilled semen, but he continues to do the job. We've got the Breeders' Crown heats on tonight, and I think he's got something like 6 runners going around, a couple of very nice ones too, a couple of debuts and a couple of very nice proven horses, and we just know the job he does.
Yeah, and he even won the race that was named after him the other day at Globe Derby with My Bad Habits, winning the Sky Valley race by Sky Valley. I thought that was quite good. Well named. So congrats to Matt Maguire, who bred it, owned it, and trained it. Just the only thing didn't do is drive it, but 14 from 50 it's won. So just another example of his job too.
He's done a great job with that horse because he was well named. But yeah, no, he's done an awesome job with him. Unbelievable results. I don't know, Fitzy, if you saw them. I should have asked you beforehand, but at Pennsylvania on the way, no, Monday, it was just gone. The sales, $1 million Walner horse. But the reason I'm pointing this out, the trotters here in Australia and New Zealand, we seem to just be that little bit behind. The fillies topped the sales with 153. $1 million colt went through, and they had 100, and I think their average was 134 on day one. This is, and that in itself is huge. But when you put that against the paces, I think they were 78,000 for the average for the fillies and 80,000 average for the colts. The trotters are on the up, as Duncan says, hot to trot. But people have got to be aware of where the trotters are starting to come. We know that in Europe, that's all they have. This is happening in the US. You've got to get onto the trotters.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously pumping more money into trotting over here, which is good. Brad Steele's pretty big on that. And so is John Mooney. That's at HRNZ. So that's only good for people buying and breeding trotters. Field numbers are good. I think a couple of years ago when I went to the HRNZ conference, a lot of stats were down, and basically one of the leading lights was trotting was the green arrows, and up. So that it's exciting. I think it is clicking on here. I think last year we had those good 2-3 purchases at higher prices for the ones that Barry and Scott Phelan brought, which are meant to be in higher power. Maybe I think that have been winning the races. Then we brought one that was 80,000. So, and then I know like Hopes, they brought that filly Odina. She was 80 or 90,000. So there is good prices at the sales for the trotters. Some of the lower ones, I think they can be giveaways, but also then sometimes there's 6 dams on the page, which, when you weigh it up to yielding the sales time probably is what lets you down there. But I think we're getting away from that in the trotting, thanks to the work Duncan's doing, and thanks to Pat too. Like, I know I'm an Aldebaran Park man, but you can't talk about trotting without talking about Duncan, without talking about Pat. If you talk about harass, say trotters, I think you've got to talk about Aldebaran Park, and vice versa. The job they've done, the money they've poured in, we're starting to see it. I think it's only going up. It's going to get better, and it's a great time to breed a trotter.
I put a little post out yesterday. 63% of the trotters racing tonight at Bendigo and the Breeders' Crown, and I will be going out there. Hopefully we can get a couple of interviews with some of the winning connections, and they might have a tie-in with Aldebaran Park. We'll put them on the end of this, but they've been influenced by Harasta Trotters or Aldebaran Park influence, and a couple of people have taken that the wrong way. They don't own them all. I think Duncan's got Aldebaran Denby going around, and I think Pat's got 2. That's the influence of the stallions they've imported or the mares. Aldebaran Denby, she's a great one, because you say about the job they've done together. What's 50-50? Stallion was Arasta Trotters, mare was Aldebaran Park. They complement each other, the pair of them. So I think it's great, and it is what the trotter is about. And you only look at this week. I know there's a lot of talk about your trotting cup for the paces, which is an oddity, but the Dominion time-honoured race. It'll stand the test on. It'll be the race of the carnival. I've got no doubt about it. When you've got a superstar like Just Believe going out, but so many other talking points. Then you've got the 3-year-old slot race, which has got some intrigue. So, the trotters are definitely on the up, and they can only continue to go on the up, not plateau.
Yeah, well, just on the 63%, I know that's influenced of Harade Trotters and Aldebaran Park, but I think it could be 80% really when you think about people that have seen Pat and Duncan putting this money in and have brought mares over themselves. Like, I know there's people in New Zealand that have brought mares across that probably wouldn't have, but saw those guys with the confidence to do it, and probably they've helped. Like, I would say Duncan's talked to a lot of people and told them how to do it, or the right way to do it, or something they learned. So that's huge for that. But the trotters over here, I think the Dominion's going to be a great race. I think the New Zealand Cup, Trotting Cup for the paces, got even more exciting with Swayze joining the crew, and obviously Larry coming. So between them, it's going to be a great day. I think it's a sensational move to bring the Dominion to Cup Day compared to Show Day. Show Day's lost sort of it needed a refresh for the last 3 or 4 years, and have finally pulled the trigger on it. So Cup Day is going to be massive. Having the Dominion at the start of the week and not 3 days after a free-for-all, I think that's going to be massive too, because obviously you don't have those horses running 3 days earlier. They're all coming in hard and fast for a 3-2. It might affect the free-for-all on the Friday with, depending on how many back up, but I think it's just going to make the Dominion an even better race than what we've seen in the years past. So yeah, it's really exciting. And then obviously for trotting wise, that 3-year-old mobile trot for the Ascend, the slot race, like Kiyang Zahara, I'm looking forward to seeing her live and in front of me. And we've got some good ones of her own in there that hopefully can take her on, but I don't think they'll beat her, but they'll certainly give her a fight for her money.
Yeah, you're spot on. Everything you said then was true. And you go to a horse like King Sahara, she's by Volstead, who stood at Harassed Trotters at that stage. But what you said there, so you can have that influence through that way. And the comment was with the influences directly, either Stallions or Dams, that they've influenced there. But you're right. Pat told the Lees to send the mare to him because of his stride. So there's not just he wasn't worried about his service fee, because I think in the end $3,500. It's not that. It was actually Pat said go to this horse because he's got a magic stride, and that's that influence. Exactly what you were saying. They both guide each other. They guide people. They tell people. They steer people into the right horses, and that's why it is growing. And as you said, so many other people, Hopes, Ken Bracken, there's so many people driving these trotters now. It's outstanding. I think Ken Bracken's 50-50 now, isn't he? Trotting mares to pacing mares. So one of the biggest farms going around. I will let you go, but I'm just going to make sure I get the name right. I'm pretty sure it was High Step.
High Step. It might have been, yeah. Sorry.
No, you're right. High Step steps out. She misses out on that slot race. That's the strength of this race.
On that race, yeah, sorry.
Last year's Redwood Classic, and she misses out on that on getting a slot, and she was awesome the other day. So, yeah, that's the strength of the trotters and where they are. Fitzy, one thing I did want to point out before when we put this roster up, Reoffender for the Kiwis is out of a Dream Vacation mare. And I know there's quite a few of those over there, so be aware of that. Wyndham Stud, great supporters of Aldebaran Park and have been for years, but they were very keen on the Dream Vacation mares. I know that. So it's a cross that the Kiwis will be able to get their head around pretty comfortably as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think we on record we might have a Dream Vacation or a couple of coming to them. So hopefully there's another Reoffender in there or a Rockin' with Attitude. But yeah, obviously jump on the website if you want to get an Aldebaran Eagle or a Dancing in the Dark and holler at me. And all my information's on the website, or just email us and we'll get in contact. But yeah, it's ticking along pretty good for these guys, and I think it'll only get a little bit busier over the next 6 weeks, and we'll be pretty happy.
I'll get a tile put up at the end of it, Fitzy. I don't know if I've got one or not, but with you, I think I have actually got one somewhere.
Yeah.
All your details, we'll put that up. Fitzy, thank you. Enjoy next week's racing. For the record, don't change the name of the New Zealand Trotting Cup. Keep it that way. It's just one of the anomalies, but it has to stay as what it is. I do like it, but it's just an odd one when you start talking trotters. But Fitzy, thank you very much for joining me, mate. Hot to trot here at Aldebaran Park, and thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Paul.